Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Haven't done a video in a long ass time, man. This Christmas, New Year's gets to you. Because I think the last videos I did was the One Piece chapter review, with the Bleach chapter review, and Dollars of Anime, day 12. Now, final episode of To Love Room. This one was called Room. Okay, here's the problem with evaluating this series, To Love Room. Don't get me wrong, To Love Room Darkness. This was probably, in its entirety, one of the most interesting To Love Room seasons. I thought this was a season that brought in factors that were never brought in the first one and the second one. Because remember, we really think about it. The first To Love Room season, it didn't get serious until the end. The second season, there was no kind of urgency. You know, there wasn't that climactic moment when, oh, Rito is faced with a challenge and he has to overcome it. No, they didn't have that in season 2. The way I look at it is this. Season 3 was a combination of two things. One, the intense moments that we never got in season 1, and it had a little season 2 in it. And why do I say a little season 2 in it? Because he was able to go, he was able to have a few episodes with certain girls. Spend time with them. Now, I'm probably not going to do this. I'm going to do this for To Love Room. Might do it for the other series when they end for the fall. You know, JoJo, Pet Girl Sakuraso, and Psycho Pass. But for now, I'm going to do it for yours. I'm going to give a series rating. And I'm going to give an episode rating. Now, let's get into the summary. More or less how this episode starts. And this episode is really about Momo. We see Momo. She's playing in a dating sim game. She's playing a dating sim game. And she's thinking about Rito. You know, a whole bit. It's not a pretty long episode. A lot of shit. More or less a lot of stuff happened. And she's thinking about Rito. And being with him, Momo is. And she really wants to be with him. And to make this harem plan fit. And there was this scene. Wait, it didn't happen in this. No, it did actually. It did actually. Where Nana she's playing with herself. And Nana walks in and she's like, oh, didn't I tell you when, you're supposed to knock? I found that hilarious. But this episode was really about Momo. That's what this episode was about. Now, pretty much the rest of the during the episode, this new club is founded called Venus Momo Club, VMC. This is a typical situation that happens in, well, not horror, but romantic comedies where I've seen it in a few animes. I saw it in, I think Shuffle, and I saw it in My Bride is a Mermaid, where you have these kids who are part of this club of this one girl, and they idolize her. So that's what happened in this episode. And they're basically talking, these guys, and like, Momo Club, we'll make sure, we take care of her and all that stuff. And then we have a scene where Momo is like putting, a plant in the classroom, and then she's confronted by these guys, so on and so forth. And for the series in general, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Well, I should say 8 out of 10. Now, for this episode, unfortunately, and I should say it right now while I'm doing it, I'm only going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Oh, for obvious reasons. So anyway, she's getting by these guys. And they're basically talking to her, and saying, we're a good club, and she doesn't mind. She thinks it's an added bonus that she has a club now. And I also see Nana has a club for flat chest, and she's like, no! So she kicks him. And pretty much the episode was basically that. And she's after, and she's being followed by these guys, this club, and it's like interfering with her plan with Rito. So what ends up happening is Rito goes with Lala to go help his father with because his father draws mangas and stuff. And she finds out that he's not going to come back that night. And she's really upset and she's depressed. And she can't find the time to sneak in to talk to Rito. So, and that's pretty much the concept of the episode. Until eventually what happens is, during the episode, she's able to get alone with Rito. And it's this moment. And the thing about this moment, this scene in this episode was, it felt like it was happening, but it wasn't. And people are probably going to say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, basically what I mean is, there was the part in the episode, in this scene, Momo was having her way with Rito, and she's like playing with his chest. God. And it's a kind of a moment. And I guess Momo imagined it, that she thought that he was going to go on top of he was giving her the and it was like filling her up and the whole bit. But in actuality, that never happened. And she was teasing him and stuff, and it was getting kind of heated. They're about to do the nasty. But what ended up happening was, he grabs her by the arm, and she's like scared, and she backs away, and she's really embarrassed. And she says, "Are you in the mood now, Rito-san?" And he goes close to Momo. Well, Momo puts his hand on her chest, like, she takes his hand, puts it, and they're about to kiss. Those douchebag guys show up because of Kurosaki. She's ratted her out, which was bullshit, man. Come on. And ratted out. They have these guns with them, filled with pellets, and he starts shooting Rito. And then they got him by the shirt and everything, and we're gonna give you the worst punishment imaginable. I forgot also, there was a scene with them standing outside when Momo was changed. Anyway. And they're telling him this, and oh my God. Momo? Don't piss off Momo when it concerns Rito. Because I assure you, you will regret it in the long run. Because she was just filled with this purple aura of anger. And she was going to unleash it on these motherfuckers. And then she's like, if you do anything to Rito-san, and I was like, oh my God. This girl is pissed off. What ends up happening is, she says, we're sorry. And she told them to apologize this time. She says, we're sorry. And so they all apologize. And then we have a scene with Rito walking with Momo and Kurosaki. And Kurosaki's like saying to her, you shouldn't have done that. And he's like, oh, you can't. You being all secretive and saying that, you can't have them all to yourself. And then we have just a moment with Momo is walking with Rito. Kurosaki's ahead of them, obviously, while they're walking away. And she's saying to herself, I guess I still don't have the courage necessary to be with, Rito-san, be with him and stuff. And more or less, that's where it ends. Until we see credits roll and we see the different scenes of the different characters walking around. We see, also there was a scene of Rito, with tear. There are boobs in his face. And we just see all the characters walking around when the credits are rolling. And then we see the true ending scene where Momo is in Rito's bed and they're just in bed. And that's where it ends. Now, here is my problem with this final episode. The reveal of the Master wasn't... So this... And I'm not saying that, this was a horrible version, that they did the fucking manga non-justice, and it was just horrible, horrible, horrible. No, it wasn't. This is what I'm going to say now. For To Love Ru Darkness. Great series. I get it 8 out of 10. It was a good series. Good series. I liked it. Thought it was great. This episode was... it could have been better. Now, the reason why I say that is because the reveal of the Master wasn't really revealed. She never showed herself. She never confronted Rito or Momo or anybody. Or Golden Darkness. Now, does that mean, this is bullshit, Bankai's right and everything? No. They could come out with a second season. And I hope they do, because I think they should. They definitely need to come out with a second season about To Love Ru Darkness. They can continue this. There's no question. They can continue from the manga. There is no question. I 100% endorse that they come up with another season. Because they can nail it on the head. No doubt, no question, no doubts. Because they already revealed the true nature, the whole scenario with Kurosaki and this Project Genesis and all this other stuff. So they can move from that point on. So they can come out with a season 2. There's no question. So overall, this was a great show. It's just... It would have been nice for them to reveal the Master in a better way. Overall, good series. I like the fact that this series wasn't your typical harem. Your typical To Love Ru. It was more than that. It was like saying, okay, we're going to have the harem stuff, but at the same time, we're going to have some action. I mean, there were a few scenes, a few moments in this show where it was like, oh my god, some fighting. Some fighting. The episode where we had Golden Darkness against that bounty hunter. That was great. The episode when, Kurosaki, was revealed and everything. That was great. That was the last episode, actually. What am I talking about? So, and the whole thing with Tyr. That was great. I like that shit. That was awesome. A flashback. We got a flashback in this show. So, overall, this was a great show, To Love Ru Darkness, but I want to see a season 2. I want to see it. I want to see it happen. I would love to see them continuing it and do another season of To Love Ru Darkness so we can expand on the Master and the whole thing. Maybe a confrontation, So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Good episode, good finale, more or less. Like I said, the only thing is I wish they could have done the Master thing a little bit better. But overall, good series. Check it out, To Love Ru Darkness. And that's pretty much it. So now it's the only thing I'm going to be reviewing, aside from the 2 I'm reviewing for the winter. Pet Girl Sakuraso, JoJo, and Psycho-Pass. So yeah, I'm Bankai922. I will see you guys later. And that's it. See ya.